Do you crave exciting sports takes and news? Fed up with the same old boring voices you hear on the radio? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a TBloomaholic. Lucky for you, it's time for another episode of the TBloom Talk Show, the #1 sports podcast in the world. Settle in, my TBloomanites, because another episode starts right now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Did you dig the intro? Did you see what we did there? For all my TBloomanites that have been there since day one, you got to know that is exciting news. We finally got an official intro, and what better time to display it than Fight Night Friday with our special guest back for another week, JC Edwards. JC, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, bud?
Hanging in there. You know, it's Thursday night. Usually we do it Friday night, but we said, hey, let's get after it. Let's give the people a solid whole day of Friday to be able to listen to the podcast, for them to understand, you know, they're going to get some hot takes and some quick shakes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, pretty much. I know you get it out there a little early so everybody has a chance to maybe pop it on Friday when you're at work, maybe on your way home, Saturday morning, hanging out, get a chance to figure out what's going to go on these fights. We'll give you our best breakdown.
And this week's fights on Saturday is a UFC fight night, Luque Muhammad versus Vincent Luque, and that is a 2. For those of you who don't know, these two have fought before. We're going to get into that further along the podcast, but we're going to start off with the very first fight and just give us we're going to give you a little bit of heads up. We don't know how to say half these names, okay? And that's okay, because as we keep going and as we watch these fights and these fighters, we'll eventually, you know, get to know how you say their name. And yeah, so just a little bit of a warning beforehand.
I mean, I'm sure Saturday night we're going to be humbled.
Oh, for sure.
Realizing that we probably said half these people's names wrong, but that's just part of the game you play, you know? Until you know them, until you see them, until you hear their name said, we're just reading. I mean, that's all we can do.
That's all we can do. So let's just go ahead, boom, get right into it as we usually do. First fight of the main card, we got Mounir Lazzez versus Ange Loosa.
And to keep you guys entertained, we'll both, you know, put our own little twist on it. He's going Mounir Lazzez. I'm going Mounir Lazzez versus Ange Loosa.
Okay.
And that's just how I'm
going to predict it. I like that. I like that. So Mounir the Sniper Lazzez is 10-2 versus Ange Loosa, who's 8-2. This is a welterweight one. Did I say she?
I think
I just said she. We'll hear it. But anyway, 10-2 versus 8-2. Lazzez is 34. He's 6'1". His hometown is Tunisia. That's a country. I'm not sure if that's definitely not a town. He fights from...
I guess he's South America, possibly? Or what are you thinking?
South America? Tunisia? I think that's like Asia territory. I don't know. Look it up. He fights out of the Team Nogueira in Dubai. He's got a 100% takedown rate, and he averages 3.4 takedowns per 15 minutes. His last loss was to Warley Alves, which was TKO first in the first round.
Look at that fight
was his last fight.
Over a year ago. That fight was January 20th, 2021.
Jesus. So this has been a long layoff for him. You look at Ange Loosa, his counterpart. He's 28, 5'10". He's from Switzerland. He fights from Fight Move Academy, which is also in Switzerland. He has a 100% takedown defense rate. So these two guys are pretty much the best defenders for their offense. Is that how you put it?
That's what you're saying? This is the 100% takedown?
Well, this is also one. Then the next one we'll talk about that. The second to last one is also the same kind of thing. So
what I want to know is how many times has he been tried to take down? Like, how many times has somebody tried taking this guy down?
I don't know that answer. I do know the guy who has a 100% takedown rate, he gets 3.4 takedowns every 15 minutes. And so he's active trying to take people down.
That's in this fight? That's in the co-main.
No, that's this fight right now.
Oh, geez. And that's
Lazzez versus Loosa.
Oh, so that's going to be Loosa? Was it the 100% takedown?
Loosa has a 100% takedown defense. Lazzez has a 100% takedown rate.
He's a younger man, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Lazzez is going to have a 2-inch reach on him. And, I mean, to be honest, I don't know what we're getting into this fight too much.
Yeah, I don't know these guys at all, so it's kind of shot in the dark. I will say Ains Lusa has never finished a fight and has never been finished. So all of his fights have went the distance.
Every single fight's with the distance?
Every single fight.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is his UFC debut, too.
UFC debut. He's gonna be nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just keep that. I mean, he's gonna be nervous.
Yep.
But I mean, I think Mounir Lazzez has only fought twice in the UFC, and his last fight was lost over a year ago.
Yeah. So Warley Alves, you know much of him?
No,
Okay.
to be honest.
So I mean, no one.
Yeah, and so that says what we can say what we got to say without saying it. If you know what I mean, read between the lines.
You know what we're saying without saying it.
But hey, it should be a good fight. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna take Lusa on this one. I'm just gonna roll with him.
I'm gonna go Lusa too. I think Lusa. He's young.
I'm definitely gonna say he's probably gonna get his first stoppage.
You think so?
I'm hoping so.
I mean, yeah.
He needs it. He needs it.
I'd love to see what the over-under on this card is, on this one. I know that the odds are Mounir has a minus 180 and Lusa is plus 155, so he's a little bit of a dog.
Guess we needed to pull up FanDuel or MyBookie or something and pull those odds up so you can look that up.
Well, I know the odds. I just don't know the over-unders.
Oh, on the rounds?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the odds? Who's the favorite?
I just said Mounir's minus 180 and Lusa's 155, plus 155. So Lusa's the dog.
Oh.
Yeah. But we're both. I'm going Lusa. You're going Lusa?
Yeah, I'm going Lusa.
All right. Next one. Pat Sabatini, 16-3 versus TJ Laramie, 12-4. How are you gonna pronounce that name?
Well, I'm gonna go Pat Sabatani. He's a Paisan.
Sabatani.
Pat Sabatani. He's a Paisan. I don't know where he's from. And TJ Laramie. I'm pretty sure I've seen him fight. The name sounds really familiar. I don't really.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't like his face on the picture I'm looking at isn't ringing a bell.
But Laramie sounds really familiar.
I know. I think I've seen him fight. He's young too. He's 24.
24. He's 5'6". Pat Sabatini is 31, 5'8".
I mean, he's got 4 inches of reach on him, Pat, the Paisan. He's got 4 inches of reach on TJ.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what their last fights are looking like? We got 16-3 versus 12-4.
Pat Sabatini's
no scrubs.
He's on a 5-fight win streak. He has 3 fights in the UFC. He beat Tucker Lutz, Jamal Emmers, and Tristan Connolly.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. And TJ Laramie, he hasn't fought in over 2 years. The last fight was on the Woodley versus Covington card.
Really?
Yeah, way back then. And lost his last fight via guillotine. So he fights out of Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Maximum Training Center.
He's a Canadian, huh?
Yep. Pat Sabatini's hometown's from Bristol, Pennsylvania. He fights for Renzo Gracie in Philly and NPR Endurance, which is also in Pennsylvania. And I think I'm going Pat Sabatini. I think Pat's going to do it. TJ Laramie, he hasn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah, his last fight was against Damon Jackson. That was actually canceled. That was his last scheduled fight.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago. I mean, 2 weeks away from a year is May 1st, 2021. Fight was canceled. I'm going to have to roll with the hot guy. No, say we're going to take that back. Don't take it the wrong way. The guy who's hot.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, on the TBloom Talk Show, JC Edwards. It just came out.
Oh, my God. No, the guy, Pat, he's on it. Like I said, Pat the Paisan. He's on a 4-fight win streak, like you said. He's fighting. He's a Gracie fighter. I'm thinking he's going to take him down, and he's probably going to tap him out. That's my pick for this fight. He's going to tap him out. Let's go round 2.
He's going to tap him out?
Tap him out in round 2.
I think Pat Sabatini wins it. Fuck it. I'll go a knockout in the 3rd round. 3rd round TKO. Actually, no, that's a stupid. I'll go the distance. I think Pat wins it by the distance. Just beats TJ Laramie fair and square. All right. Move it. And by the way, that's an even line there. No one has any advantage on that.
Did we tell them the weight class on that one?
That one is a featherweight matchup, 145 pounds.
Okay.
All right, 3rd fight of the night, which is the women's fight. It's a flyweight at 125 pounds, or it might be a bantamweight fight. I'm not sure.
It's a 135er.
135er?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
135er.
So we got Myra Bueno Silva, Shitara is her nickname, at a minus 490 odds. She's 7-2-1 versus Wu Mulan Yanin, who's 12-4 with plus 360 odds. Myra is 30 years old. She's 5'7". Her hometown is in Brazil. Won't even try to pronounce that. Her gym's Shoot Box Team Cyborg, which is in Houston, Texas.
Oh, she fights out of Chris Cyborg's team?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Wu Milan she's 25, 5'8". She's from China. Fights out of Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand. And she's on a 2-fight losing streak. Losing streak, yeah. She's 1-3 in the UFC overall.
Yeah,
So she's fighting for her job right now. Dana's not going to be playing around with her.
Dana doesn't like it when you lose. And if you keep losing, you're going to be out of the UFC.
Easily. Myra's, her last 3 fights all had different outcomes. A loss, a draw, and a win. Yet she has 5 submissions. 4 arm bars. Oh, here's something interesting. I kind of fucked that one up. Sorry, guys. She's never attempted a takedown. Ever. Yet she has 5 submissions. 4 arm bars and 1 ninja choke.
Ninja choke, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. That sounds kind of intense.
Let's see a video of that one.
Fucking ninja choke.
I'd love to see that. That's interesting. I mean, never. So
she's
gets taken down and she taps him out.
Yeah, maybe she pulls guard a bunch. I don't know.
Somebody's had to realize, like, hey,
don't fucking take her down.
Yeah, I mean, 7-2-1 versus 12-4. I mean, we'll get to be honest. I don't know a ton about these fighters. I mean, I definitely have seen Bueno Silva fight before, and I'm gonna have to roll. I'm gonna roll with her on this one.
You're gonna roll with Myra?
Yeah, I'm rolling with Myra.
I'm gonna roll with Wu. She's from China. She's pretty much fighting for her job right now, so you know. And then her culture, I feel like they're gonna be like, you better fucking win.
I mean, they're not gonna let her lose. I mean,
I think she's probably
this. Yeah,
I can see a KO in the second round. That's what I'm going with.
I'm still gonna hold firm with what I said, but I get where you're coming from because we'll keep it pretty silent on that one. But
oh shit!
But
like JC said. We're saying something without saying it. You tell me.
You read between the lines.
You tell me.
She needs to win this fight.
Fighting for a lot more than her job. Anyway, moving on to the next one, we got Miguel Baiza, Carmel Thunder, 10-2, versus Andre Fialho, 14-4. Miguel's 29. He's 6'2". His hometown's Davie, Florida. His gym's MMA Masters in Florida.
Ooh.
He's on a 2-fight losing streak. His first 3 UFC fights he won, and then he lost his last 2. And his last loss was against Kalen Williams. And he's 4-1 in the UFC. He's TKO'd Matt Brown and has 100% takedown defense. Andre Fialho, on the other hand, is 28, 6 foot. His hometown is Lisbon, Portugal. His gym is Sanford MMA out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. His last loss was Michael Pereira via unanimous decision. That's the dude who knocked out Izzy, huh? Michael Pereira?
No, Michael Pereira is he's that guy that comes out dancing. You know, the guy that do all the crazy dancing, do all the front flips, and then he would get all tired in the cage. The Brazilian. You don't know what I'm talking about?
The other cowboy? No, that's
not that. Speaking of, I mean, if you guys haven't heard, Alex Oliveira is no longer part of the UFC. That's a sad day. He was a good man.
Yeah, he was. He was exciting, man. He was never like a threat to win the title, but you were about to see a show every time he came out, from his entrance all the way to his fight style. It was just exciting all the way through. Shout out to Alex Oliveira.
Shout out, man. He was a true warrior. And then who was I going to show you there? I mean, I was going to look somebody up so you could see him.
Michael Pereira. Yeah, so Andre Fialho, he's fought 4 times in 2021, and he won all of them. And he happened to be James Vick's last fight. It happened to be his retirement fight. Knocked him out and then sent him packing.
Who did?
This guy, Andre Fialho.
Ooh. if you
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. And so I mean that's a good fight. And this guy's a good fighter that he fought last time.
Yeah.
So honestly, this is gonna be a good fight. This is one of the better fights on the card. I mean, like haven't seen a lot of these guys fight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he lost a decision to Michael Pereira. I mean, like I said, that's no scrub. And this is only his second fight in the UFC, I believe, right? Has he had any more fights?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I know he fought 4 times in 2021. And he's never took somebody down. Andre Fialho.
Yeah,
and Miguel Baez
he's Portuguese.
From the porch.
Yep,
hopping off the porch.
Portugal. So I mean, yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna have to go. Definitely gonna take Miguel here. I think Miguel
Miguel
Baez is going to win this fight. And I'm gonna take it. I mean, you guys aren't gonna sell me on it, but if there's a over under 1.5 rounds, maybe take the under.
Yeah, I can see this being a knockout. I'm going to go the other way, though. I'm going Andre Fialho.
So we got 2 disagreements so far in this card.
Yep. I'm going Andre Fialho. I'm going knockout round 1.
You tell everybody the records from last weekend. I don't know if you broke
last
that down.
weekend's records. We can go over it right now. JC went 3-2. I went 4-1.
Got robbed though. Just know that.
Well, that's why you don't go against the grain. So yeah, looking to extend my streak, and we'll have some opportunities. You have some opportunities to make your game back with these disagreements. So we'll see.
And I mean, also 3-2, 4-1. I mean, those are solid picks.
Those are solid. I mean, for the bottom line is we're making picks, and most of them are right. Well, we got someone out there doing burnouts. Might have to take a
pause for a commercial break.
Might have to pause for a commercial break here. Someone's out there doing burnouts in the middle of the cul-de-sac.
Oh, sounds like they moved on.
Yeah, they dipped out.
Somebody's trying to break into the TBloom headquarters here. We had them drifting out in the parking lot.
Yep, security took care of that, though. Don't worry about it, folks. We're going to keep going, though. You're going Miguel Baez, Carmel Thunder?
I'm going Carmel Thunder here. I think he's going to take this dub. Honestly, I mean, I think he's going to take this, and he's going to probably put him out.
All right. I'm going Andre Fialho.
Yeah, I respect it.
The Portugal.
I respect it.
Okay, now we're coming up to what I think is going to be the fight of the night. You got Cheo, the natural, Borralho. How would you say it? How would you say that name?
Hold on 1 second. You read this up. I was got a little ahead of myself on my score sheet here. You said, okay, so I got Keo Borralho.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the same thing as you.
Yep.
And then I got Gadzi Omar Gadzev. Oh, that's definitely butchered there.
Gadzi Omar Gadzev. Something like that. It's a middleweight matchup.
Omar Gadzev.
Cheo's 10-1, Gadzi's 13-0. They're both making their UFC debut. They're both 29. They're both 6-1.
They're banging this out at middleweight. So I mean, these guys are going to be some heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
mm-hmm.
they're looking to show out. I mean, they're looking to impress Dana. They got Dana over there looking at them. They know it's their first fight in the UFC. I mean, they're going to look for a good fight. I mean, a good fight here. This is going to be a great one. This is what you were saying earlier, though. Is like I remember you mentioning another one of those 100% takedown defense versus 100% offense.
So we know they got the same age, they got the same height, but something that they don't have in common is their styles. One has 100% takedown defense, that's Cheo, and the other has 100% takedown success, that's Gadzi. So we're going to see a immovable object meet a brick wall, and one of them's going to have to move or break because one of these streaks is going to be broken because I don't see them. I mean, I think Gadzi's going to try and take him down. And Chael's going to have to defend the takedown. I mean,
pretty much they're going to.
One of these streaks is going out.
Somebody's either getting taken down or somebody's stuffing a takedown unless they stand and bang the whole fight. I mean, but I doubt it because, like you said, it's not like you said, but like everybody says, you got to plan until you get punched in the mouth. So, yep. If you're a wrestler and you start getting punched, you're going for that leg. You know what I mean? Like anybody, you start getting rocked, you might see a takedown. You might see somebody pull guard. You never know. This is Big fight for these guys, making their debut, co-main event on both debut on a card.
Yep.
And they're not, I mean, yeah,
They're in their prime, dude. 29 years old.
10, 1-0 versus 13-0. These guys are ready, primed, ready to go for the UFC. Hopefully we got a new.
They're okay. I will say this because this definitely matters and it's factoring into my decision of who I'm going to take. Godzi is from Moscow, Russia, and Cheo is from Brazil. Now, back in our first podcast we did 2 weeks ago, we had a big emphasis on the Russian takeover,
I remember.
and I'm going to stay consistent with that.
We're
not talking about the war or anything stupid like that. We're talking about UFC infiltration. If you know, then you know that the Russian fighters have been coming in and dominating. And it's all started with Khabib and that whole camp. So don't take it out of context. Back to what I was saying, though. I'm going to go Godzi. I'm going to stick to that, what we were saying. Russian takeover in the UFC. I'm going Godzi. Continue on and stay undefeated.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me here. I wish I've actually been able to see these guys fight in the Contender Series. Just by looking at their pictures, it makes it a little hard, but for some reason...
It's going to be a brawl, dude. It's going to be a fucking brawl. I see it go in the distance.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough... I wonder if Cal is a black belt. I wonder if he's a black belt. Because if he's a black belt and Godzi tries taking him down, I mean, come on now. But I'm just going to have to... You know what? I'm going to go against you. I'm going Cal Borjalo. He's actually a BJJ black belt. So I think the takedown, if he wants to bring it down to the ground, Godzi might get himself tapped out.
Ooh.
I know I said the Russian takeover, but these damn Russians can't keep taking over. Sometimes you got to put a stop to them, and Cal might be the guy to do it. So we're just disagreeing on everything here. See whose fight streak gets brought to a win and who gets teetered to a loss.
Okay, I love it. This is going to be a fun fight week. So we've gone through all of them. Now we're here at the final fight of the night, the main card, the headliner, Vincent the Silent Assassin Luque versus Belal, remember the name, Muhammad. Vincent is 21, 7-1. He's 30 years old, 5'11". He's from Brazil. His gym is Serraro Gym, which is also in Brazil. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. 2 of those fights including Tyron Woodley, who he submitted in the first, and Michael Chiesa, who he submitted in the first. His last loss was Wonder Boy, and he actually beat his counterpart, Belal Muhammad, via KO in 2016 in the first round. Now, Belal, 33 years old. He's 5'10", from Chicago, Illinois, fights out of Rufo Sport. Little background on them, they produced Tyron Woodley and Anthony Pettis, 2 former champions in the UFC. He's on a 7-fight win streak, 2 of those beating Wonder Boy and Damian Maia, his last 2 fights, and his last loss was against Geoff Neal. So here we go. I mean, what are we thinking here?
This is a tough one.
This is a
real tough one because you got 2 absolute killers, and these guys are killers.
Yeah, dude, Belal, the amount of shit he talks on Twitter, like he's going for stardom.
He knows he's got to back it up. When you talk like he talks, you got to back the shit up.
He is going for stardom.
But Luque, I mean, he's just a different animal too. He's one of those guys that.
I mean, you tapped out Michael Chiesa in the first round. Michael Chiesa is a fucking.
Yeah, he's good.
Especially
he
ground
can
game.
Stand. The thing is, he can throw. Like he can stay on hands. And you said he beat Wonder Boy?
His last loss was to Wonder Boy.
Oh, okay. And Belal Muhammad beat Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
But he knocked out Belal Muhammad
in the first round in 2016.
See, when he lost to Wonder Boy, that was a different Wonder Boy than you're seeing now. Not that Wonder Boy's lost, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
that was a lot different Wonder Boy 5 years ago, 6 years ago than you're seeing last year versus Belal. Wonder Boy's 40 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, this is a tough one. Ben Luque, he's a killer. I could see him contending for a championship against Usman.
Against Big Usman?
I could see him getting there. So I'm going to go Vincent. But I respect the hell out of Bilal Muhammad. I respect him. But I just don't think he's that top of the top, cream of the crop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't think he's that guy?
I think he's top 10, but not top 5. And I think Vincent Luque, like I said, will be fighting those top guys. He's one of those guys now.
I'm gonna go. Fuck it. Let's make it a big fucking Friday night. I mean, maybe let's make it so I either extend my lead even more or JC closes the gap. I'm going Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad by unanimous decision. I say he just takes him down and lays on him the whole fucking fight. I can see that being a thing. I don't want it to be that way, but I can see it happening.
I think Luque is probably going to submit him.
What round?
With third, late submission.
Third round, late submission.
Yeah, submission in the third round. Big, brutal fight. Fight finally goes to the ground. And he's able to tap him out. Rear naked choke, catch his neck in the end. See something like that happening. So we'll see.
Yep. It's gonna be a good fight card. I'm excited. I wasn't too excited before I, started looking shit up, seeing the names, seeing the backgrounds of each fight. But now we got some good knowledge, good background on it. I'm excited to see what happens. A little bit of a disagreement in some of these fights should be fun.
No, definitely going to be a fun watch on Saturday. It's definitely going to be, everybody should tune in. Make sure you're watching the fights.
It's free fight if you have ESPN Plus, which is like what, $4.99 a month.
I mean, yeah, you can get it for dirt cheap. So I think it's $5 a month.
I mean, if you're not doing shit on Saturday, which I know you're not, because you're listening to the TBloom Talk Show,
so you'll be watching the fights.
so you obviously be watching the fights.
One of these days we'll have to do a watch along with the fights.
Oh, for sure. Once I get a nice little camera, we'll save that for another time. But you said you wanted to talk about not just the UFC today or tonight, but maybe a Bellator fight coming up. What was that? What's his name? Bulldog? Pitbull?
We have Pitbull versus
the artist.
Yeah, no, we got Pitbull. No, we got So hold on, give me 1 second. So we'll lead up into this. We'll lead into it. This weekend is Bellator.
Bellator. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like UFC but a different brand. Different brand, same sport.
Oh, which one is it? I'm trying to pull it up for you guys, but
Come on.
I'm trying to pull it up for you guys. I know AJ McKee faces Pitbull 2. They already fought once. AJ McKee tapped him out. Was it the first or was it the second round?
It was the first.
First round. That was, that fight right there, they were fighting mad. They were talking bad. They were getting into it at the press conference. And AJ McKee came and put it to an end right there. And then now Pitbull was the champion. I think he was the champ. I mean, he trains with Cejudo and those guys. I mean, he's a killer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the champ for a long time, so he's getting his rematch.
And AJ McKee, he's undefeated, right? 18-0?
Yeah, AJ McKee. Here we go. I got the stuff we're looking for. I got exactly what we're looking for. Yeah. I mean, AJ McKee, he's undefeated. This is 100. I mean, they're not showing what I want. But yeah, I know he's undefeated. But this is the 145-pound championship. AJ McKee, if you heard him earlier this week on our guy's show, Ariel Helwani, he was saying some shit, saying he could beat Alexander the Great. He's saying he could beat Volkanovski, saying he's not impressed by what he's seen.
Featherweight?
Yeah, they're both same weight class.
Yeah, he's saying he'll come to the UFC and get whooped, just like every other person comes to the UFC and gets whooped. Besides Justin Gaethje, or besides not everyone comes to the UFC and gets whooped, but a lot of people come over and think that they're the shit. A lot of people don't come over because they know if they came over here, their records wouldn't be looking as pretty as they are if they are fighting Bellator. Venom Page.
Yeah, so I mean, some of these guys are making enough money. It's like, hey, do what you do. Yeah. Do what you do. But then, I mean, and then we actually got, if you want to check it out real quick, I mean, we got a couple good fights on there. Guess who else is fighting? We got our guy, Corey Anderson.
Corey?
UFC vet. Yeah, his title fight. His light heavyweight title fight versus Vadim Nemokov.
Definitely Russian.
Definitely going to say he's from Russia or Ukraine. One of the two.
One of them.
And, yeah, that's going to be a hell of a fight. I mean, who you think's going to win that? I don't even know
the other guy. I'm going Curtis Blades, baby.
And Corey Anderson said, when you think about this, he's good. He beat Glover.
Didn't Curtis Blades? Didn't he just fight in the UFC?
No, this is Corey Anderson.
Corey Anderson. I said Curtis Blades. I'm stupid. I'm going Corey Anderson.
Yeah, Corey Anderson. I mean, he's beat Glover and he beat Jan when he was in the UFC. And those are the champion in the UFC and the former champion.
Yeah.
And it's like,
holy shit,
this guy's gonna come. He's gonna win this belt.
I'm going Corey on that one. I think Stephen Thompson's fighting for PFL.
No, Stephen Thompson's not fighting for PFL
or Pride.
Jeremy Stevens is fighting for
PFL or
PFL or bare knuckle, one of the two.
I think it's PFL because I saw a little advertisement for it today. But he's a former UFC fighter too. There's just so much to watch this fucking weekend. These are all on Saturdays. Bellator on Saturday or Friday?
Bellator. When is that going to be? That's going to be it's April 15th. So that's actually tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
So we got that tomorrow night.
What time?
It's going to be 7 p.m.
Oh, we're watching that.
On Showtime.
Watching that tomorrow.
So definitely going to put those fights on. And if you're betting, I mean, who are you taking? If you're going to take AJ McKee or Patricio Pitbull?
AJ.
I'm going AJ too.
I'd have to go AJ.
I'm going AJ and I'm going Corey.
AJ and Corey for sure.
And they also have I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Aaron Pico. But he's a young guy. He's not bad. He's only 25. He's had a couple oopsies, but he's young. But I mean, he's still good. I don't know who he's fighting, so you just have to tune in. We're giving them a little bit more cred than we should. I mean, advertisement than we should for Bellator because we are sponsored by.
We're not sponsored by shit, guys. We're working on that though. As you guys can tell from the intro, TBloom headquarters is expanding the budget a little bit, slowly and surely. The more you guys listen, the more money we get, and the more stuff we can put on for you. Is there anything else we should go over? I mean, we went through the UFC fights, the main card. We went through Bellator a little bit of PFL. Anything else you want to?
Well, I mean, I'll just say a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of going away from the fighting a little bit, but hey, it's podcast. You can go away from it. Don't know if you mentioned it on any of your shows this week, but Masters happened last weekend, and I'll just tell everybody that was it was a hell of a tournament. If you're a golf fan and you want to hear a little golf, you want to hear a little something, maybe get the Power Hour of Golf with TBloom. We'll see what we can do. Put it together.
JC's pushing for a Power Hour Golf.
See what we can do. We needed to have an hour a week. Me and Tanner talk about golf. Our golf game, the round we played, the game going on that weekend, our favorite players. Hey, what you can do is send Tanner an email, hit him up on Twitter, let him know that you want to hear that, the Power Hour.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And that's just really what I wanted to end the show doing. And that's the last thing I got to say besides, hey, nobody can see this, but Tanner can see it.
He's throwing up, for those of you who took ASL, he's throwing up the I love you sign in remembrance of the great Big Ben Roethlisberger. Remember, it was his last year.
And, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, he's throwing up the hang loose. I think I know why.
Throwing up the hang loose. I'll be around next weekend, next Friday, but then I'm going to have to take a break the following weekend because your guy earned a vacation. I'm going to go hang loose in Hawaii.
Telekaniki Maka
is the place to stay. So, we'll talk to you guys next week. I don't know what Tanner's got to say, but I'll end my stuff on that. I'll take one rip out of the pen, get a little cheeched, get a little chonged, and I'll leave you guys on that.
Well, I appreciate you letting the crowd know your schedule. We always love having you on the podcast. Anytime you want to come on, you just let me know. We'll make it happen. We'll be back next Friday for another Fight Night podcast. I will be back on Monday for another NBA-style podcast. Thank you for listening. TBloom Talk Show. I am your host, TBloom. I love you. Sayonara.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the TBloom Talk Show. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard our content so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with TBloom, check out TBloom Talk Show on YouTube and Twitter. We'll see you next time.